Most welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we're gonna start in 3 minutes exactly. So in the meantime, if you don't mind just writing something down that you can hear me well and see my video. I would also share my PowerPoint so you can also confirm that you can see it. So if anyone would be kind enough just to let me know that you can hear me, see me, and see my slides well, that would be really helpful. So I can make sure there's no technical glitches from my end. Hello, Badr. Great, great. Thank you very much. Great, great. Thank you. Thank you all. It's a blessing to have you this morning. Would you mind sharing from which country you're joining on the chat as well? So this way we would at least help me knowing on what time zone you are, just to get to know each other a little bit before we start. So Badr and Ahmad are joining from Kuwait. Mostly welcome. Shaikh is joining from Pakistan. That's a nice crowd. Areen is from Oman. I know that Islam is joining from Dubai for sure. So Rizwan, what time is it in Pakistan right now? Rustam is from Azerbaijan. Samir is from Saudi. Wow, that's a nice multinational crowd that we have today. I'm so happy. That's 12. Oh, that's good. That's good, Rizwan. It's 11 o'clock Dubai time. I believe that in Kuwait and Saudi it's 10. It's 10 o'clock. In Oman, it's the same as Dubai. It's 11 o'clock as well. I don't know about Rustam from Azerbaijan. What time is it right now? But I hope it's convenient for learning. All right, all right. That's great. That's great. Such a nice crowd. I'm so happy to have you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that our webinar would be beneficial for everyone, and that you'll enjoy your time. I'm just gonna allow 2 more minutes because it seems many people are joining as we speak. And if you don't mind, I would ask you kindly to mute your mics whenever you don't have something to share or a question to ask. So this way we can optimize the sound and the experience for everyone. Very good. Samir, yes, the session is recorded and is gonna be posted later on our website. As any webinar that we offer, they are all on the Meirc website. So you can go to Meirc and then click on webinars and you will see all the recorded and all the upcoming webinars. There, we upload them as well on our YouTube channel. So I would invite you to follow the company on the channel as well. And this will give you a notification whenever we upload the programs or the webinars. Good morning, Abdul Karim. Thank you very much for joining. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Such a great pleasure, such a great topic, such a great morning, and thank you very much for joining. We have 16 people already in the room. That's a very nice crowd from several places, from Pakistan, from Azerbaijan, from Kuwait, from UAE, from Oman, from Saudi. So that's a great multicultural and diverse audience. Just to share with you a little bit of logistics, I would like to have a discussion with you. So any question that you have in mind, please feel free to pop it in the chat, and I'll pick up your questions in due time and answer them as much as I can. So in the beginning, I would also like to recommend that if you have a pen and paper next to you, because it's gonna get some a little bit handy on the math end, you know, because it's about calculating something. I know people who work in HR are usually not fans of math, but however, we would need some math and a calculator as well. Certainly, I'll do all the math, but if you would like to cross-check or do any kind of calculation, that would be also an opportunity for you. So, for those of you who are joining Meirc Training and Consulting for the first time, a quick introduction. Our company has been established in 1958, so it has been in the market for 63 years. We have celebrated our 60th year in 2018. In 91, our headquarter became Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. We have offices in Abu Dhabi, in Saudi. We have also partners in Africa and the Pacific Asia and Europe. That's a little bit of the company. We have 25 full-time consultants delivering solutions in 31 categories with almost 250 courses. These are certainly the ready-made courses. Our journey with virtual learning started in 2011, and in 2019 we launched this service up and running. We are very proud that in 2020 we have delivered around 1,300 training days over our virtual platform, either in terms of in-company programs, for public programs, in online short snippets and online certifications. That was a little bit about the company, a little bit as well about myself. Just quickly, I'm an L&D advocate. I love this domain. I've been in this domain for 21 years now. With I deliver technical HR training, leadership training, and HR consultancies. I've been blessed enough to work in corporates as an L&D manager, as a talent development manager, and I taught HR courses for master's students in universities as well. In terms of my education, I have a master's in education, another one in human resources management and training, and I am currently pursuing my CIPD level 7 diploma in advanced human resources. That's in short, and let's go straight forward towards our topic, which is calculating the return on investment on leadership programs. Now, certainly that's a challenge that we might face in our organization. We know that everyone agrees that leadership training is important. However, being able to quantify its impact is the interesting topic that we're going to share today. So a little bit of a reminder, since we are talking about calculating ROI, what is the ROI formula? The ROI formula is very simple. It is benefits minus cost divided by cost, and then the whole thing is multiplied by 100. That's the ROI formula. And as you can see, it's not really complicated. It doesn't apply to training only. It applies to any kind of investment that you do. So it's not only about training and development, it's about any kind of investment that you do. And as you can see, it is very simple. It is usually calculated on yearly basis, and by definition, it is the ratio between the net income and the investment. So the net income is the benefits minus the cost, and then you multiply it by 100 to get it as a percentage. Companies really look into ROI because it is a performance measure for an organization. So it is used to evaluate the efficiency of any investment that you do, whether an investment in training or investment in an HR system or an investment in developing a new product, a research and development product exercise, or any kind of money spending with expectations for return. So that's the formula. Now, I would like to analyze this formula with you based on how to optimize a return on investment. So you know that there is, on top of the formula, benefit minus cost. So how we can increase the ROI? How we can make sure that our ROI is going upward? Because the higher the ROI, the better the investment that we did. Now, by simple math, you can really tell that if the cost increases and the benefits are stable, then the ROI is going to be lower. While if the cost is stable and the benefit decreases, again, the ROI will be decreasing. However, if the cost goes down and the benefits are stable, then the ROI goes up. If the cost is stable and the benefits goes up, then the ROI goes up as well. So what am I trying to say? To optimize the ROI on training, you need to make sure you increase the benefits and maintain a good cost. Now, there are two scenarios that are tricky and very dangerous. The first one that you can see in the bottom is the following. What if I decrease the cost, but in this way I am decreasing the benefits? This is a very dangerous practice. So you try, for example, to save money on the logistics or on food or on the venue or on the training company delivering the solution or on the training material, thinking that by decreasing the cost, you will increase the ROI. But when you decrease the cost this way, then you are decreasing the benefits. And this is very dangerous because it will backfire on your ROI. Now, again, sometimes by increasing the cost, you increase the benefits, but you should do it with caution, because this means that if the cost overcomes or overrides the benefits, your ROI will become negative, and then you will not be able to show a positive return on investment on the trade. So this is how we optimize our ROI. And again, this applies to any kind of financial investment. Now, the easy part, as you can see, we're gonna try to monetize two things: the cost of the training and the benefits from the training. Usually monetizing the cost is easier. Monetizing the benefits is what's gonna take us most of the time. Everyone who works in training really knows that the sources of cost of a certain training are the ones that you can see on my screen. So the delivery of the training, it means the price you pay for the time that the trainer or the facilitator, the consultant is standing there delivering the program. Sometimes you pay for the design of the program. So you can ask a company or an instructional designer to design a course for you, and then you take it and deliver it. And some companies will ask to keep the design for themselves. So there's a cost involved in design as well. There's the cost of material. By material, I mean a booklet, some tools, maybe an app or anything that the participant is going to use, a branded pen, a USB, a flash drive with things on it, etc., etc. There is also cost to pay for the venue, for the logistics, the travel, accommodation, etc. But there is also a cost for training administration. So if you have a training coordinator or a training administrator that is registering people, keeping attendance, monitoring the participation, reporting the attendance, collecting the evaluation sheets, filling this on the system, this is time that the company pays for, and that's why it's a cost as well. Now, something that some people might miss is the salaries of the attendees, because while the attendees are in the training room, the company is paying money for them, and this is part of the training cost that you need to accommodate as well. Now, if the training is done over a certain platform where you had to purchase licenses, then again, you will need to add the cost of the platform itself or the registrations, the users that you have bought from the provider. So this is the cost involved in a leadership training. And again, that's the easy part. Now, let's go to prepare the ground and the foundation to calculate the benefits of a leadership training. So usually, when you think about delivering a leadership program, it is because of some problems that the company is facing. Mainly, what are the problems that when you have them in business, you directly think that they are correlated with some leadership competencies? I'm sharing 6 right here. Maybe they are interrelated and one problem feeds the other sometimes, and we're going to sort this out later on using some very beautiful math as well. But leadership problems are not confined to those 6. They can be much more. So those 6, as you can see, they might be turnover. So if you are losing many employees, resigning, especially if you don't want them to resign, top performers, high potential employees that are submitting their resignation. There is lots of studies around that highly correlates the resignation of employees with poor leadership. So that's why turnover comes up very early as a problem of poor leadership. Absenteeism can be correlated to leadership as well. Productivity of employees, their engagement, the competence of team members. If it is low, then leaders are responsible for that, and this would impact the organization. And if you have a problem with finding successors internally in the organization, this might be a leadership problem. So what do I mean? When you go to plan and run a leadership training, you aim to solve these problems. And you need to keep in mind that whenever you are aiming to calculate the ROI, you're thinking money, 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 money all the time. Because the formula takes two input, and those two input need to be in money, in dollars, in real, in dirham, in rupee, whatever you want, okay? But they need to be in money form. The formula doesn't take but money input. So how do companies make money or save unnecessary cost by solving those problems? If the company solves a turnover problem, then it saves money because hiring new people costs the company money. If you reduce absenteeism, then you save money because when people go absent because they are not on good terms with their leaders, the company is paying their salaries while they are at home. So this is wasted money. If you make sure that people are productive, then this productivity means that they are doing their job, and it means at least there is no money loss for the organization. If leadership solves an engagement problem, then we really know by now from lots of research that whenever you have higher engagement among your employees, then they will be more productive, and again, productivity will go in terms of money. If you increase the competence of employees, then they will be more productive, and again, they will make less mistakes, they will avoid costly mistakes, they will be more innovative, they will do their job faster. This is productivity, this is again money. And if leadership helps in developing people, which leads to having successors in the organization, this means that you can save money on external hires, which is again an unnecessary expense if you have the right career development and succession planning in place. So as you can see, those problems are costing company money, or they can make money for the organization. And those problems might be solved by leadership intervention, at least partially, all right? At least partially. So I'm not gonna claim that the reason for every absenteeism day in the organization is due to poor leadership. No, this is not true. This is not true by any means. But if leadership is contributing to this absenteeism, then this means that I can reduce the absenteeism level by a leadership intervention. There is no magic like leadership is responsible and accountable for every single problem in the organization. And it might be, in fact, accountable for many of the problems in the organization. However, what problems I am aiming to solve? This has to be very clear in my mind when I'm doing the training needs analysis for a leadership program. So I know there are many problems, but I need to be crystal clear about what problem am I solving through the leadership intervention. I cannot claim that I am solving turnover and absenteeism and productivity and engagement and. They might be affected, but to calculate the turnover, to calculate the return on investment, you really need to decide what are you going to measure before and after the leadership training intervention. All right. So that should be really, really clear. So let's assume that we would like to solve turnover. We would like to impact turnover rates through a leadership program. Now, everyone knows that leadership correlates with turnover. We might have left a certain job because of a leader. Or we have asked HR to move us from one department to another because of a bad leader. However, how much is the impact is the question that we really need to answer. This is the trick about that. How much is costing us to replace an undesired resignation? Again, you need to be very practical. I don't like to stop unproductive people from resigning. In fact, I would pray for them to resign. And when I'm saying I'm solving a turnover problem, I'm solving a problem of undesired controllable turnover. It means people that I don't want them to leave and they are leaving, however. So when you think about, yes, Mukhtar, please, do you have a question? Please go ahead, unmute your mic and pop it up.
Yeah, Mr. Can you hear me now? Oh.
Excuse me?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but there is noise around you. If you can raise your voice a little bit. Or if you want, you can write your question in the chat box.
Can you hear me better now?
A little bit better. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I want to take us back a bit to the slide you talk about the cost of return on investment and ask, is insurance a major cost to it? Because we incur cost on insurance in my organization a lot.
Insurance cost of participant on training?
Yes, please, yes.
Yes, so you will need to add it as well, for sure. This is part of logistics.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Sure, most welcome.
Sorry, I took us back. Sorry, please.
No problem, most welcome. All right, so how much does turnover cost? I would like to ask you something, please. If you don't mind, would you kindly write down on the chat an estimation of the average cost of one resignation in an organization? One resignation in an organization, how much it would cost the organization if an employee resigns? Just a rough estimate.
I'm sorry, in which level you anticipate this employee to be? Which level, please?
Excuse me?
I mean, I'm sorry. Regarding this employee that you're asking about, is he, I mean, in the middle level, and lower level, and higher level? Yeah. What do you think?
Let's agree that he is a middle manager.
Okay, middle manager. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sure, most welcome. So we're trying to estimate the turnover cost, a resignation cost of one middle manager. Just roughly, you know, just to have an idea. I certainly will share an example later on, just an example, but you will have to replace those numbers with your own, so you will be able to calculate that. So I'm gonna give you 10 more seconds. Okay, Abdul Karim is saying $250,000. Well, in my example, is not that much for sure, but there would be some cost incurred for sure. Saeed is saying 6,000 to 8,000. Rizwan is saying approximately $10,000. All right, very good. So let's calculate it. Yeah, Mukhtar, so it seems like Mukhtar, they've done this exercise before and they have data. He's saying that it will cost $15,000. Excellent job. So let me take you through one example. I just took some numbers randomly. They don't have to reflect on your own organization, but to calculate the cost incurred in terms of turnover. So the 5 items that I put here are the main items, but there is some items that I'm going to discuss later. The first item is the time of the direct manager for selecting the employee. So I'm assuming he or she will take 1 day to interview in total, like 1 day to interview, to screen CVs, to select the candidates, etc. And then half a month, which is 11 days, to train this new hire on the job. So this is a total of 12 days. If we assume that we are paying $300 in salaries, which is a very conservative number, by the way, a very, very conservative number. If we're paying $300 for this manager in terms of salary and benefits, because you need to calculate everything, then this is already $3,600. But then there is a time of the internal recruiter. Searching LinkedIn, contacting candidates, screening CVs, communicating with candidates, initial interviews, first screening, second screening, etc. So let's assume that for every position, this person will spend 2 days. And if this person earns $200 a day, then this is again $400. If you're advertising on a web page, you're boosting the job on LinkedIn, or if you have a premium account on any recruitment platform, we're gonna assume that's costing you $200 per candidate on average. There is also the vacancy cost. So when we hire someone for a certain salary, we expect that they give the company a return on human capital. So if you're gonna assume that the resigned employee used to get $8,000 in salary, and he used to have a return on human capital of 10%, which means that for this month, we have lost in terms of benefits from this vacancy around $800. And there would be a time for onboarding from the candidate himself. Okay, they need to attend training, they need to visit the sites, they need to take training on policies, etc., etc., etc. So all that would account to half a month, let's say, and this half a month is around $4,000 if the new highest salary is $8,000 as well. So calculating the total, you are left with $9,000. $9,000, very conservatively calculated, for every undesired resignation in the organization. All right. Now, in some cases, if you are using an external recruitment agency, then the cost is gonna be much higher, because recruitment agencies will charge percentages, high percentages, from the yearly total income of an employee. So then you can easily multiply this 9,000 by 2.5 or even by 3, depending on, for example, if you are hiring a senior manager, then that would be very, very costly. But for the sake of the example, keep in mind that for every employee, a high performer that resigns, the company is losing $9,000 unnecessarily. All right? But keep in mind some things. If you don't have a turnover problem, then you will not do a leadership program to enhance turnover. Again, We're trying to solve a company problem. Maybe your problem is engagement. Maybe it's absenteeism. Maybe it's competency. Maybe it's productivity. It depends. Here we're just taking the example itself. All right? Great. So this is the cost. Now, it's not that easy. The important thing that we need to understand is that turnover is not only caused by leadership, right? So we cannot blame the leader 100% for every employee that resigns. So here we need to ask ourselves, how much is leadership contributing to turnover? Why? Because we know that turnover might come from leadership competencies or lack of competencies. It might be from employee engagement levels that is caused maybe by environmental factors, by safety and hygiene factors, by the nature of the job. Maybe because of turnover is related to tenure, how long a person has been in an organization. Turnover might relate to the last job tenure, how long this person has been in their last position. Maybe about the performance rating. You might expect that people with very high performance might resign less or more, depends on your company. It's maybe about the salary difference from the median. So if this employee is comparing notes on salaries with other people working in the same industry in other organizations or in the same organization, they will feel bad, they might leave. Maybe it's about the number of training hours, how much training and development you're offering those employees. So all those might cause an employee to resign. So it's not only about leadership. Now, certainly these factors are related to each other as well. And this is where you need to really isolate the impact of leadership. All right. And for that, we're gonna do a very nice exercise. So far, so good. Any question that you'd like to ask? Because now I need your full attention for what's gonna come next. All right? Any question? All clear? All okay? Great. So I'm gonna assume that no news is good news, and let's move forward. So in order to study this case, imagine that we went to our company to study those factors. And we have collected data from 20 departments. So what did we do? First, we measured the leadership competencies of the 20 leaders heading those departments. And as you can see, we measured specifically 3 competencies. The first one is inspiring trust. The second one is constructive feedback. And the third one is providing support for employees. Again, this is an example. You might have a different competency framework for your leaders. So this is your own choice. But for the sake of the example, I chose those because I believe that they would have the highest impact on turnover. And then after measuring each competency from a rating of 1 to 5, we took the average of the 3. So I have a leader that averages 2 out of 5, another one that averages 4 out of 5, but on average, those 20 leaders of the organization, which is our sample, has 3.18 out of 5 in leadership competencies. We also measured the employee engagement in the department, the difference of salary in the department. So as you can see here, 27 means that the department on average gets plus 27% than the median, while the minus 42 says that those people get minus 42% than the median in the organization. So again, the median is the bracket, but I'm not gonna dwell too much on that. We have taken as well from our HR data the tenure in the organization, how long they have been in the organization, how long they have been in their last job, their performance rating out of 5, and the number of training hours the department, every employee on average has received in the department in the previous year. And finally, for sure, because this is the variable that we care about the most, we measured the turnover rate. What is the percentage of employees resigning from this department on yearly basis, which is on the, let's assume, the previous year. So this is the data that we have collected from 20 managers and their department, which is our sample to study and understand how much leadership competency is impacting a change in turnover. So when you are talking about so many variables and you would like to isolate the impact of leadership competency only, and you have this beautiful table in front of you, you can directly calculate a very important factor called regression. Now, regression or linear regression is a statistical method that whenever you study data, it can tell you if one variable is, or one factor is impacting the other. Now, certainly, because in my case, I would like to understand if leadership impacts turnover, then I asked my system to correlate somehow and study whether a change in leadership competency is generating a change in turnover rate. This is what we call data analytics, and it's a very important aspect that we as HR community need to learn. All right. So in data analytics, we get to answer the question, which is, how did you know that leadership is causing turnover and not something else? So to answer this question that we keep on getting from management, from senior managers, from people on top, we will need to do the regression. The regression will tell me whether this data is impact on competencies is impacting the turnover rate. It's very simple on the system. My own system that I use and I like to use is called SPSS. It's by IBM, but even Excel has the ability now to do some data analysis and show you the regression. So when you look at the output of the regression, it will look something like that. But don't be afraid. It's easy to explain and easy to demystify. This 0.737 means that leadership in our case, from the data we collected, can explain 73.7% variation in turnover. So if you remember those variables that we had here, we didn't know really how much each of them is changing turnover. Now the regression is confirming that leadership alone is varying the turnover by 73.7%, which is huge. So now I know for sure that the problem of turnover I'm having in the organization is caused by leadership. Now, someone from top management will come and say, yes, but you chose only 20 leaders from the organization. How can you tell that it didn't happen by chance that all those departments were very bad and this is not the case of the whole organization, or this is not, so the data happened to be showing those numbers by luck. When we want to defy luck, we look in our table to what is the p-value here, which is the significance of the data. And this is telling us 0.000. There is a chance of 1 out of 1,000 that our data is due to luck, which is very, very unlikely. So what is this data trying to tell us? It's telling us that we can find a formula that relates turnover to the average competency of leaders in my organization. So if you look at this coefficient, which is 9.5 almost, and you can see the negative sign, you can explain mathematically that if the average competency of a leader goes up by 1 unit, then the turnover will go down by 9.5. All right? If the average competency goes up by 1, then the whole thing here will be together minus 9.5 and turnover will go down, which is the of the leadership training. Very good. So what does this rating was? In a company with 1,000 employees, then we will expect 163 resignations on that year. Going back to the cost, if every resignation is costing us $9,000, then the cost of the resignation currently is around 1.5 million. All right. Now, the leadership intervention. What do we like to achieve through a leadership intervention? Usually, the leadership intervention will impact the competencies of the leaders. This is what you aim for. And this is why we measured inspiring trust and constructive feedback and providing support in the beginning, so that our training will be on those 3 topics mainly. So if we aim at increasing the average competency rating from 3.18 to 4, then our current turnover will be 8.6% instead of 16.35. This means that we will have on the next year 86 resignation instead of 163. This means that we are saving 77 employees from resigning, and 77 times 9,000 is almost $800,000 in saving for the organization. And here you go. This is the benefits of the ROI. So as you can see, now we have our ROI formula a little bit more elaborate, where we could insert the benefit in the formula. Now the easy part of explaining or calculating the cost. Let's say we have 100 leaders in this organization that we need to train. Then let's say every training day, every training program is for 3 days, and it will accommodate for 20 people. So you will have to do it 5 times 3 days. And if the training day will cost $5,000, then here you go. The delivery cost is $75,000. In this case, usually there is no price involved in design because the provider will incur the design cost within the delivery cost. If you're printing material for participants, which are 100 again, then if every unit costs you $20, this is another $2,000. If you're having 15 days of training, then the venue will cost you around $30,000. Let's assume that the training is done very near the office, no much cost in terms of travel or logistics or accommodation. The administration cost for 5 programs is almost $3,000, which is again part of the salary of the training coordinator or administrator. The salaries of the participant, assuming that everyone gets $300 a day, is going to be $90,000. And assuming that it's a face-to-face delivery, then there is no price for the platform. And here you go, adding all this up is going to sum up to $200,000. So now we have the cost. And finally, we can calculate our ROI. The ROI formula is $800,000, which is the benefit or the money we are saving by reducing our turnover, minus $200,000 divided by $200,000, the whole thing multiplied by 100. This means that our ROI is 300%. Now, what does this mean? It means that for every dollar we spend on training, we are returning $3 US, which is a very, very, very healthy return on investment number. So here you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we calculate the turnover, the return on investment of a leadership program to solve a turnover problem. Certainly, other problems need another kind of an approach, but I hope that this was enjoyable and beneficial. I would like to allow a couple of questions by the end if you would like to ask anything regarding the topic. So I'm going to give the floor to you right now. Please feel free either to type it in or to share it out loud by unmuting yourself. Saeed, most welcome. Thank you very much. All right. So since we have no questions, as it seems, if you allow me for 2 minutes, just to recommend some of the courses that you might attend with Meirc Training and Consulting, and they are involving somehow very elaborate details on how to calculate leadership training and how to optimize your leadership, your training operation. We have an upcoming course both on virtual and face-to-face format, which is a certified course on training and development. You can check them on our website at any point in time. There is also a course offered on face-to-face basis for those of you who would like to understand HR analytics altogether. It's a certified HR analyst course. It's happening by end of June and another time in November. And then again, if you would like those courses to be offered internally to your companies, we can do that for sure. We can cater some customized solution for yourself. And there is a course that will help you as well optimizing your training cost if you are thinking of establishing your internal training academy for the organization. There's an upcoming course next month. If you would like to attend it, it's a 3-day virtual format training course where you will attend via the Zoom platform. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed your time. If you really have a comment to share, but if you would like to spread the word, I would really invite you to help us spread the word about our services through a review on social media or on Google review to Meirc.com. I'm sharing with you the website of the organization. I would also share with you my email. So in case you would like to receive the slides, please send me an email and I will share with you the slides that I shared today. I'm gonna also give you on the chat my mobile number in case you would like to ask any kind of question about HR topics that I might help with. I would really be really be glad to help. And finally, if you would like to add me on LinkedIn and keep in touch, follow my posts, follow the announcement of the new webinars, I would give you how I spell my name on LinkedIn. So looking forward to connect with you. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you very much for your for the very nice words that you are sharing on the chat. So please, if you have any question, we still have a couple of minutes. I'm gonna stay on for 2 more minutes. If you have anything that you'd like to ask me, I'm ready. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Rabi.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Mukhtar from Amcon, Nigeria.
Excuse me, I cannot hear you.
I say this is Mukhtar from Amcon in Nigeria.
Welcome, Mukhtar.
Yeah. My question to you is now that these trainings are going to be majorly online, I know the cost is going to come down. I just want an assurance that the benefits from the facilitators like organizations like yours will be even as much as the normal classroom trainings that we've been sending our staff to. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much. All right. So it was a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it. You have my LinkedIn link as well on the chat. Enjoy the day and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Meirc.com